So, good morning, Ryan. Thank you for taking this time out and talking to us. This is one of the short videos that we're promoting for Men's Health Week. And today's topic, we're looking at kind of men's health in general. So first of all, I was just wondering if you could explain to us your job role and how long you've worked for the council.
Yeah, so I'm a health trainer for the Wellbeing Service. I've been here since November. And before that, I was personal training full-time, self-employed, over at a gym in Preston.
Fantastic. And how long have you been a personal trainer qualified for?
So I left uni about 5 years ago, and then was a little bit unsure what I wanted to do in my life. So I took a little bit of time away, and just did some generic work. Got qualified, so it will have been 4 years. So I've been personal training for about 3.5 to 4 years.
Fantastic. Did you feel you actually learned anything on that course?
Not really, to be honest. I think when I went to university, I'd done sports science. So for me, it was a little bit like I'd kind of gone back to college. But I knew that I had to do it to get the qualification to be able to train people. So I kind of embraced it and went and did it. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't realise. They think, oh, I want to be a personal trainer, I'll go and do a course. But they are very different in terms of what you actually learn. So what you learn from a personal training course, it's kind of down to you to advance your knowledge to be able to become a better trainer. It gives you a very basic knowledge of how to train people safely and stuff.
Yeah.
But it is very much down to the individual to go on more education and sort of get more experience in the job role.
Yeah. And what kind of like got you into all of this fitness and sports? Would you say you kind of did it from a young age, or was it something that when you got older, you kind of got interested in it?
So I've always played rugby. So I started playing rugby when I was about 9. Excuse me. I was about 9 when I started playing rugby. So rugby had always been quite a big part of my life. It always kept me fit, and I never really sort of experienced any mental health problems when I was younger, due to the fact that I played rugby and as well as quite active outside of that as well. And then when I went to university, I didn't know anyone in the rugby team, so I chose not to do it in my first year. And I put quite a lot of weight on, and then I experienced some slight sort of depression and stuff. And I think as well as going out drinking, as well as being let loose in a city with money that you've not had before, so you're kind of buying foods that your mum and dad won't let you have, stuff like that. So then, yeah, so I put quite a lot of weight on and I wasn't really happy. And I remember getting to a point I was just thinking, I'm not happy with the way I look. So I started playing rugby again at university, but then that's kind of when I got into the gym as well. I played rugby at uni for a couple of years, and then I got injured, and I was like, you know what, maybe this is not really what I want to do anymore. So that's when I kind of got into the gym, and then from there on, for the last 5-6 years, I've been running quite a lot, and lifting weights, and it's kind of changed me in a sense in terms of it's taught me a lot about myself as well as improved my health and fitness and put me in a position now where my mental health's in a good place, my physical health's in a good place, and everything else just kind of then kind of everything else kind of works around that in a way. I see it as almost like a foundational level. If my fitness is there, everything else kind of comes along with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So when obviously you mentioned that you kind of put a little bit of weight on and you started to feel a little bit depressed, you were kind of going in this downward spiral. Once you hit that point, what kind of made you realize I need to do something about this, and how did you kind of get out of that? What stopped you from spiraling further?
I think it was just more feeling a bit crap and feeling down, not having much self-esteem and stuff like that, and struggling with my confidence and just I remember getting to a point of thinking, it doesn't have to be like this. And like almost changing from feeling like I wasn't in control about what was happening to me to thinking, actually, I am in control. And I think sometimes when you're in that position, you look up at the mountain and it seems like a long way to go. But if you break it down and you think, all I'm going to do, and you concentrate on those daily tasks, thinking, all I'm going to do today, I'm going to do a little bit of exercise, I'm going to try and eat better. And what you'll find over time is if you just keep doing that on a daily basis, you kind of things change, but they take a while. But as long as you do those things on a daily basis, you can kind of get to where you want to go. Like I said, sometimes it seems like you've got a mountain to climb. It's very difficult to pull yourself up. But when you try and break it down and you just concentrate on today, I'm just going to do this, and then you do it, and then all the time you look back and you think, oh, 2 years has gone past and I've lost 4 stone and I feel miles better. How's that kind of happened? But yeah, I think it's just about doing those daily things that you need to do, to be honest.
So small changes over time and that consistency, that's how you reach your goals. Excellent, fantastic. So obviously with regards to you coming out of that place and you doing those small changes, what were some of the changes that you actually implemented to get to that end goal and to get back to feeling how you were?
I think for me, the big one was starting to lift weights. It was never really something I've been interested in. Like I said, I always played rugby, so we'd done bits of conditioning work and stuff. But I found for me and my sort of body type responds really well to lifting weights. I can do loads of cardio and I just stay the same, but it's the resistance training and that like newfound passion of like pushing myself, and it's almost like a challenge every day. And I feel like if you do find something that you can challenge yourself and it keeps changing and you can add more weight and you can do different exercises and kind of created a real passion for it. So yes, I think the lifting the weights especially kind of kicked me into action and changed me a lot rapidly than anything else would in terms of exercise selection, especially.
Yeah. So under the 5 ways of well-being, I'd say you've kind of touched on 2 topics there. I'd say you've touched on the be active topic because obviously you were being a lot more physically fit and doing a lot more weightlifting, but also under the discover as well, because you tried something new. So it was something new that you tried that you'd never done before and you got these fantastic results. So that's amazing that you managed to implement 2 of the 5 ways to well-being. You could possibly say as well you added in the connect part as well, because you were connecting with other people.
Yeah.
Obviously you joined the rugby team again, you joined the gym, you were meeting new people at university. So you could possibly say that you added actually in 3 topics of the 5 ways to well-being. Now, with regards to obviously keeping fit and maintaining that, how did you feel during the lockdown when all the gyms closed?
I think the first one, to be honest, I quite enjoyed. I feel like I've been working a lot for the last couple of years, and it was almost like a big holiday that I feel like I needed. So to be honest, the first one I actually quite enjoyed it. The weather was really nice. I didn't have to go to work. I was still training some of my clients, but also I was setting them workouts to do, and then just keeping on top of them on the phone. So to be honest, the first one I quite enjoyed it. It felt like just a 2 month, 3 month long holiday that I needed. But then I was ready to go back to the gym. So the gym's opened back up in, I think it was the last week of July.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really nice to go back. It was a little bit weird at first, just with the COVID guidelines and stuff, and just having to wear a mask when we were training people. But it was just lovely to see people back in the gym. Everyone was in really good mood. Everyone was buzzing. And then we went into another lockdown. And then I think that's when a lot of people sort of struggled. Just because I think everyone was kind of just, they thought, we've done 2 months. Let's open things back up again. People got back in the gym. They had that taste for it in terms of exercising again. And I think the social aspect, especially, I think a lot of people don't realise that a lot of people, especially men, go to the gym to socialise, whether that's just going to a class where there's other men, or what I found is the sauna and the heat treatments downstairs are the big one. I feel like some men might go to the pub and they get that sort of connection there, and a lot of guys go to the gym, and you can see it like when a lot of the guys have not been in for a while, they come back and they look slightly depressed, if I want to say that. And I think it's down to the social aspects that have been taken away. So it was really good. Gyms opened back up, everything was fine. And then the gym shut back down again in November, I think it was, December time. And for me personally, that's when I kind of struggled a little bit, because I was kind of just a bit sort of getting quite spiteful towards the whole gyms shutting, and is this just what it's going to be like forever, opening back up, shutting back down. So I think in that last lockdown, I struggled a little bit. just having things taken away. And so I had a bit of a break from exercise, and at the time I was a little bit like, maybe I should be doing this. Why am I not working out at home? But to be honest, after we've gone back, I think it's been quite beneficial. So I think for me personally, looking back over the lockdowns, I've learned a lot of lessons about myself, and also about coping mechanisms. I think when we use exercise as a coping mechanism for stress, it is incredibly good. But if that's the only one we have and then it gets taken away, where do we turn from there? So yeah, so a lot of lessons to be learned in terms of moving forward, and also I think enjoying things that we had to do in lockdown, when the gyms were shut. So I've always been quite into going outside and spending time in nature. Since I've been working at Total Fitness before I was doing this, I spent a lot of time inside. So I've kind of reconnected with getting back outside and spending time in nature. So I think personally, the lockdowns have been quite beneficial in a way. And I know that sounds crazy because of what's happened and the amount of people that have tragically lost their lives and stuff. But I think for me and for a lot of other people, we'll look back as almost like a break that we needed to sort of reset and adjust the priorities, and then realize what's actually important and what maybe we're just clinging on to for the sake of it, in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned obviously about other men socializing in the gym, but also men socializing in the pub. Yeah, I get it. It's great. I love socializing. I love going out for a drink. But what advice would you give to other men about obviously when they are socializing, they're obviously focusing on the mental health, and they're socializing, they're talking to other people, they're connecting, but finding that moderation of alcohol intake. What's the best advice that you could give somebody?
I think it's exactly what you just said. It's moderation, and it's finding a balance in life. I think sometimes when people they want to make positive changes, say going to the gym, eating healthily, which is good, don't get me wrong, but I think sometimes people go into it full force and then they would neglect some of those social things like going to the pub. Going to the pub could be massively beneficial in terms of the social stuff, having those social connections. If you're concentrating on your health, that to me is a massive pillar, is the social side. I think if you take the example of someone wants to make healthy changes and they start going to the gym 5 times a week, but then they neglect their friends because all the friends are going to the pub. Yeah, you can make new friends and stuff, but I feel like, and as well, when it comes to the nutrition, you'll see it with people where they'll go, I want to lose weight and I want to be healthy. So they'll just eat quite plain, boring stuff. And then when they go out for a meal, they almost feel slightly left out because they want to choose, they're like eating really healthy stuff, salads, and everyone else is having a burger. And people are like, why are you not eating this? So I feel like it is about balance. Join in. Do you know what I mean? Have the burger. As long as you're not doing it every day, it's, to me, I don't see that as being a problem. And I feel like the social connections are just as important as going to the gym or eating healthily. So it's about balance and trying to create that balance. Everyone's different how you kind of come up with that, but I think experimenting and trying different stuff kind of helps you create that sort of balance in your life.
Excellent, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ryan, and obviously sharing your story. We're going to post this for obviously Men's Health Week, and on the post we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about obviously finding that balance, recognizing when people are spiraling, the help that's out there, obviously what we offer within the council for the staff, that they can reach out to the health trainers if they do need any help, advice. And we also obviously have our EAP, which is PAM Assist, for anybody that needs to talk to somebody for further help. So thank you so much for your time, Ryan.
Thank you.